I just filmed this entire thing and it was out of focus. Right here? Is that a sweet spot? I think that's the sweet spot. Hi, how are you? Grab a cup of coffee, let's sit down, let's chat. I'm gonna tell you how I got into full-time missions and how I heard about Ywam. I hope you enjoy this, and let's just get started there. So I never wanted to be a missionary. Growing up, I grew up in church, and like I became a Christian when I was like 6, 7 years old. But growing up in church, we have like missionaries come visit and talk about what they're doing and stuff. But it was never appealing to me. I always wanted to travel. Like I never wanted to stay in one place. Like I always wanted to travel and like things like that. And like I thought I'd do something with like photography or with video. But I never wanted to like be a missionary. Like ever. I didn't know how to like start traveling and how to start like just get into it. I worked, I saved money, I moved to the Baton Rouge area when I was like 18. I might have been 17. I'm really bad at timelines, so I might get some of this wrong, I'm sorry. So I moved to the Baton Rouge area, I started working at a doctor's office, and my relationship with God wasn't great at this point. It was good, but I needed more. Like I needed more. I didn't know really exactly what I needed. I wasn't really reading my Bible. I wanted to want to read my Bible, but I didn't have like the discipline and the drive and just like the want to do it. And then I became friends with this girl. I started going to a new church by that point, like when I moved, and it was great. When I met this girl and became like best friends with her. Her relationship with God inspired me a lot and really encouraged me and made me want to like grow. And yeah, it influenced me a lot. So one day she sat me down and she was talking about how she wanted to do this thing called a discipleship training school with Youth with a Mission, and she was showing me all of their videos and all of these different things. And I remember being so quiet and just like processing, like my wheels were turning. I'm just like, is this something I could do? Like 5 months, is this something I could do? So that was the end of 2017. Like, I don't know, like August, September, maybe October, I don't know. But that was the end of 2017. I started praying about it. I remember struggling so much with like, hearing God's voice and like wanting God to like confirm that I was supposed to do this school. But he wasn't, or I just didn't recognize his voice. Like toward the end of that year, I talked to one of my mentors and I was like, I'm just struggling. I don't know, I can't hear his voice. Like I don't know if I'm supposed to do this school or not. And I didn't want to do the school just because she was gonna do it. And I didn't want to base it off of anybody else. I wanted to do it because God was asking me to do it. I remember her saying, why would God not want you to do this? Why would he say no? Why wouldn't he want you to take this time of your life to seek him, to grow and to learn more? Why wouldn't he? And I was like, wow, okay. So she encouraged me to move forward with it, to do it, and if God would shut that door, then that was obviously his answer, but just to move forward with it and to trust him. So I did. We thought, okay, we'll do Ywam Tyler because it's far enough away from home, but it's not too far. Like it was a good, I think it's like 6 hours from where I live, good ways away. So we took a tour, it was great, loved it, was like, so excited. And I fundraised, I worked, I saved money, all of that. We applied for the July 2018 school and we came. My mom was super supportive. Like all of my family, like they were all so supportive. So if you're watching this and your family or you're friends with me, thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I did my discipleship training school. That's 5 months. So 3 months I was here in Texas and then 2 months I went on outreach. I went to my outreach in Guatemala. And so when I got here, I found out there was a secondary school called the School of Evangelism. Maybe I should come back and things like that. And I felt like God was like confirming that for me to come back. I talked to my mom about it and she was like, yeah, when you left, I felt like you weren't gonna be coming back. So yeah, that confirmed a lot for me. about it. I ended up doing that. The next one was starting in January of 2019. So I graduated in November from my discipleship training school, went home for the holidays, fundraised, because I had to fundraise for a whole nother school. Came back January 5th or 6th or 7th, one of those. And yeah, so then I started my School of Evangelism, and that's like structured the same way. So it's 3 months of lecture, you're here in Texas, and then you're 2 months on outreach, and I went to the Philippines. So during that break of school, I felt like God was calling me into ministry. Like whatever I was gonna do after the School of Evangelism, all of this was preparation for me to be in full-time ministry. I didn't know like what it looked like. I didn't have a clue. I wrote like my newsletter, I shared that with people. I did my I'm doing like in my School of Evangelism, and I felt like I was wrestling a lot with God about coming on with Ywam to be in full-time ministry here. And I wrestled with God about that a lot, and I avoided that a lot. And then there was one point in my SOE that I was like, okay, God, I'm ready to face it. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, if you want me to come here, I need you to clearly speak to me. So a couple days later, I was in an intercession with my friends, or with my group. They're my friends, my group. And God gave me a vision of somebody putting their fingers out, like a dad putting his fingers out, and the toddler like holding the fingers and like walking with them, learning to walk. And the next day, God was like, you know that vision that I gave you, that was for you, that's not for the group. And I was like, okay. Then the teacher was talking about being in full-time ministry and coming on staff and doing all of that stuff. And he was talking about how coming on staff is a really good foundational thing for going into missions. It's a good place to be sent out, and it's kind of like you're walking, like you're learning to walk. And I was like, it was like God in my heart was like, this is what I have for you. This is what I want. I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. That was like a big thing, just like finally admitting that I was gonna come on staff. And that vision I held on to, and I still hold on to this day, that like God's called me here. Nobody else has called me here. Nobody else is like making me do this, but God has asked me to be here, and I'm in God's will, and that's like the safest place you can be. That's been amazing for me to like have the word of the Lord that I'm supposed to be here. Yeah, I graduated my SOE in May. I did the like staff conference right after, like that weekend after. And then I came back on staff in August. It was like August 6th, I think, or 7th. But from that window of like leaving staff conference and coming on staff, I was home. I visited South Carolina. I fundraised, because you have to like have a monthly support as a missionary, like, you know, family, friends, churches support you financially. So I had to do that, and that was not the easiest like season of my life. That was one season where I was just like always go back to, okay, God's calling me to do this. God's calling me to do this. God's calling me to do this, because it was not the easiest. But yeah, so then I came back on staff, and now it's January. Nope, it is not January. It's May 2020, and I'm still here. I work in media marketing, the video side of things, student communications also, and then I kind of work with schools, or I worked with schools. So that is about it. That's how I became a full-time missionary. Like I said, I never like thought this is where I would be, but I absolutely love it. I love what I do. I love it. Like, it's great. It's not always easy. Please don't think that, but it's great. It's awesome. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe, like, comment, you know all the drill, whatever. Thanks for watching. I will see you later. Goodbye.